Ho! Hey! What's up? So, let's do a build tutorial today. We're gonna do a what I think is the build to get you the best flavor for fruity juices as well as for those creamy dessert type of juices all across the board. The best flavor from your Kayfun 5, right? So what do you need for this tutorial? You need a Kayfun 5, right? Authentic clone. If you don't have one, I recommend getting the SXK Kayfun 5 clone. Order to be Konam, get the SXK Kayfun 5 clone. You want to get it, check the link in the description box below where you can go and get it at the best price possible, right? And you will need some other stuff that I'll show you in the close-ups, right? So the objective of this build is not clouds, bro, clouds. It is to get the best flavor out of your Kayfun 5, in my experience at least. So come on, buddy. Let's do it. Whoa, so here we are, and as I said, we're going to do a build for the Kayfun 5, and it's going to be a flavor chasing build, right? It's not going to be a cloud chucking thing. I personally like to use the Kayfun 5 for something like a restricted lung head with medium-sized clouds, right? So here are the tools that you would need. Your Kayfun 5. This is an SXK Kayfun 5 clone, by the way. So if you want to check it out, find the link in the description box below. And this is a Kayfun 5 Mini. Of course, there's no such thing as an authentic Kayfun 5 Mini. So this obviously is an SXK clone as well. And this thing is really interesting. I mean, it's not just a matter of cutting the tank part, the glass tank, making it shorter, making cutting the chimney, right? This actually has several reduced parts. So the bottom base is shorter, the chimney is shorter. A few things have been modified by SXK. The drip tip is shorter as well, as you can see, right? So today I'm going to do a build on the Kayfun 5 Mini. And if you want to check it out, get the link in the description box below. It's definitely going to be something that you'd want to get and add to your collection, right? So what else do you need? You need twisted wire. That is what I'm going to be using. 26 gauge twisted wire, and this one is by UD. And I've tried Clapton builds in Kayfun 5s before. Good, nice for getting those clouds out there. Flavor is good as well initially, right? But then in my opinion at least, Clapton coils get gunked up pretty fast. I have a habit of leaving tanks half full lying around for a day or so because I got like tons of stuff, right? So I prefer the twisted wire. It doesn't gunk up as fast, and I think, in my opinion at least, it's better for fruity flavors and also better overall actually for all kinds of flavor, right? So twisted wire, 26 gauge, Kanthal A1, and all your other regular stuff, your needle nose pliers, coiling jigs if you have it, screwdriver, wire cutter, scissors, and your wicking. I'm going to be using Cotton Bacon version 2.0. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so first off, what I'm going to be doing is I've cut off like this length of twisted wire. And the thing about twisted wire is that it's very springy, right? As you can see, very springy, so it can be a bit hard to work with, but I like it, man. I mean, I've been using twisted wire in lots of different RDAs, and I definitely prefer it over Clapton wire actually. And this is going to be a 2.5 millimeter coiling jig, right? So the diameter of the coil is going to be about 2.5. You can go 3, but it's pushing it because there's not enough space between the two screws. So 2.5, and we are going to be doing 7 wraps, right? 2.5 millimeter diameter coil, 7 wraps. I'm going to just put 1 wrap here to get it in place, and then I'm going to use a 2.5 millimeter coiling jig part of it. All right, 7 wraps. All right, 7 wraps, nice, good to go here. I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to pull out one wrap from this side. Right, so now we have 7 wraps, right? Because initially I did 1 extra wrap. Now I've got my Kayfun 5 Mini. Now as I told you before, the Kayfun 5 Mini it's actually, there's no authentic Kayfun 5 Mini, right? So this is a clone, and you may want to check the link in the description box to go ahead and get this. It's pretty cheap, definitely cheaper than the actual SXK Kayfun version 5. So why do we do 7 wraps? Is because it's going to be just about nice for the deck, as you can see here, right? Just nice for this build right here. So there are 2 options here. You can try to put the leads underneath the screws like this, or you can try to wrap them around, right? Wrap them around just like that, okay? I would most definitely prefer to wrap them around because it's pretty hard to get it underneath the screws here unless you take the screw out. All right, so I'm just going to place it down here like this, and I'm going to get 1 wire across around the screw, right, just like this, and another wire just in position. All right, 1 wire, and I'm going to tighten this screw down off camera. All right, just like that. And now I am going to do the same thing for the other side, right? Pull as tightly as you can. Make sure it's tight. Hold it down and screw this in. So now you can position the coil, center it. Okay, and let's get those excess leads out of the way. All right, and now make sure, of course, that your coil is not touching any of the screws, so you center it again. Okay, and you can also pull it up or push it down. I prefer to, with the jig inside, to just put it flat to the base. I think that gets me just the right height for this build and for most other builds in the Kayfun as well, Kayfun 5. Just make sure that your coiling jig is flat with the base, and that is the right height. Right, it does spring up a little bit. That's okay, that's fine. All right, so it's going to be reading out at 0.4 ohms, right? Let's not start too high. Let's just pulse it at about 20 watts. All right, so some hot spots there. You can just use your screwdriver, strum it a little bit. All right, and now it's glowing much better. Much better, right? So you can take your tweezers and try to squeeze it as tight as possible, but I actually like the little gaps between the wraps here. Okay, I think that's really great for vapor to escape between the coils. I don't need to compress this any more than it already is, right? For me, this is just magnificently beautiful. Alright, so now it is wicking time. I've cut out about this much of my cotton bacon, right? And sometimes the cotton, it's a bit hard in the middle, or parts of it is a bit hard because the way it's packaged. So what I would like to do is just pull the fibers apart just like this. Okay, just a little bit. Make sure it's as flat as possible. Okay, you can feel with your fingers those parts that are a bit uneven. All right, and of course I'm sure someone watching this will be about to comment, "Wash your bloody hands, mate." Right, so that's something that I forgot to mention. Wash your hands before you do this, right? All right, so it's always better to have enough cotton than too little cotton. So what I would like to do, what I prefer to do is, well, obviously this is a bit too much, right? So I'm going to tear out about this much of cotton. And now with this much left, I'm not really 100% sure if it's going to fit in or not. So I can continue tearing it out, but if I tear too much, then it won't fit snug inside there, right? So I prefer to just do this, pull it in. Okay. If there's too much tension here, then I'm going to start tearing away from this part. Okay, tearing away a little bit at a time until it goes in nicely. But in this case, I got it right. It's just nice. Okie dokie, just like that. And now to cut the cotton, I'm going to roughly cut it to about where the black O-ring is. Okay, roughly. All right, something like that, something like that. And for the other side, I'm just going to eyeball it. Done. And of course, fluff up the cotton, okay? And using your Allen wrench or screwdriver, just lightly, comb the cotton to make sure that the fibers are straight, not knotted or, lumped up in some places. That really helps a lot with the wicking. In my experience at least, okay? On the bottom part as well. Alright guys, good to go. And now just need to stuff the cotton back in, right? So just do this. Right, and just a little bit more of evening out the cotton a bit, spreading it around. Just like that. And today I'm going to be using PRM, Philippine Mango. This juice is really awesome, right? But if you don't have the right setup, if I use it with Clapton coils, for example, I get a really weird muted flavor. So I'm hoping that this build will actually bring out the flavor for this juice. And I think overall this build is going to be really awesome for your fruity flavors, but it also work well with across the board almost any flavor that you have, right? It's not going to be a cloud chasing build. It's going to be a flavor chasing build, and it's going to give you a flavor that is consistent even after you've been using the coils for a while, right? So the coil that I used previously, this is it, and this is after like about a month worth of usage, right? Still pretty good. Okay, so you can just vape this at about 30 watts, 35 watts, just nice. All right, good to go. So let's just saturate a little bit more. Then put the rest of your tank. This is not the this is the Kayfun version 5 mini, of course, but it works exactly the same as your regular size Kayfun 5, right? So wicking channels, etc., exactly the same, except it's shorter. Shorter, not just the tank is shorter, but a lot overall. All the components are slightly shorter, right? And then open your top cap like this. And now it's time to fill it up. Okay, and twist the tank counterclockwise until you see the air bubbles coming out, and that will mean that you've opened it just about enough. right? So you can see that. And that will be just nice. A little bit more wouldn't hurt. Okay, good to go. So let's take a vape. Yep, guys, definitely brings out the flavor of the Philippine mango by a vape chemist, right? It's just a much better taste for fruitier flavor, right? This thing, it tastes weird with Clapton wires and stuff like that, but with a twisted wire build, I get really clean flavor. All right, so let's get back to FaceTime. I just want to talk a little bit more about this Kayfun 5 mini clone for you, all right? And just, well, vape on it. Waka waka waka. Kayfun 5 build here. 0.8 ohm. Let's start at 30 watts. Oh, yummy. Ah, I love those twisted wires, man. All right, let's move on to 35 watts. Ooh. Let's move on another 5 watts. 40 watts. 40 watts. Yeah. Shite. Let me check the airflow. Yeah. Airflow all the way open. In case I didn't show you in the close-ups, this Kayfun 5 mini, exact same airflow design as the real Kayfun 5. 40 watts, still going strong, man. $45. Woo. All right, let's bring it up to 50. God damn. Woo. 55. Damn, this Kayfun 5 mini is awesome, man. Alright guys, I think the sweet spot is about 45 to 55 watts, right? I mean, if you have a lower powered mod that can go up to 40, you can still get a pretty good vape at 40 watts. Twisted wire, man. If you're not a fan of twisted wire, you've been using Clapton coils all the while, I recommend that you do try to replace your Clapton builds with twisted wire, man. In my opinion, it's better than Clapton wire in the long term, right? So today, the flavor that you get today will be exactly the flavor that you get tomorrow. With Clapton wire, I get goodish flavor today. I leave the tank overnight. Tomorrow it starts to gunk up a little bit, and the next day it starts to gunk up a little bit more, and the flavor just, gets to shite. Alright, buddies, I hope you enjoyed this build tutorial. I will have, of course, the Kayfun 5 mini clone review up on my channel as well, Geekay Vape, so please go ahead and subscribe. Wokie dokie, brothers. No more smoky. Okay?